Hello everyone, Rich here. Welcome back to Rich's Garage and my build of the Peterbilt 359 for Showtime Studios truck build-off. Well, as anyone who lives on the eastern half of the United States knows, we've had a little bit of rain. So I haven't primed the engine like I spoke about in my last video. What I did do though is finish dechroming and cleaning up the rest of the parts that are going to eventually go on the engine. The one thing that's a little I'm going to have to play with is the radiator piping, the water hoses. So from pictures I see, they're supposed to go and straddle the heads, kind of like this. But I think what AMT was trying to do is have the water pump outlet hit here, which kind of throws things off. So I don't know if you can see that. So I got some playing around to. I think I may fudge it and have it connect on the pipe, but because that's really the way it's supposed to sit. So I have that to clean up. But what I have spent the majority of my time on are the frame rails. So when I first took them out, I happened to take them out, pulled them out of the bag, and the outside face was showing. I'm like, all right, well that's not too bad. Maybe the styrene gods are going to cut me a break after going through and doing all that work on the engine. Well, when I flipped it over, and I have to go back to some of the other videos, I didn't see this detail on some of the other AMTs. I have to look closer, but if you take a look in here, let's see if we get the light here on this. There's a lot of detail in here, but they have either it's a wire loom or piping for the air lines, the hard lines, in the frame itself, which is nice, but the injector pins are right in the middle, so it's a little bit tedious getting them out without ruining the detail and losing the detail. And you can see there's sink marks on the springs, kind of in here. There's gaps that have to get filled. So I went ahead and I worked on one rail, and I got that all cleaned up, sanded, some putty. Let's see here. I think on the back here I had to put a little putty. Over here in this corner, got the. See if I can get a little. There we go. Got the injector pins out. In here. There you go. Filled in some of the voids on the springs, sanded that. But one thing that was kind of tedious is the spring. It's at least the front springs. So this one's cleaned up. Let me see if I can show you on the other one. The outside of the spring, you can see the seam line. So the outside of the spring is actually forward by like a, I don't know, 32nd of an inch. And a little bit lower. So you have to sand back to get this square and then sand down to get it level. The spring clamps, which are these guys, are offset, and it was almost impossible to get that to true up, because if you try and get that true, you wind up losing the detail and sanding it. So let me show you what I did here. So here's the spring. So the part that you can see, it's a little bit, is I mean, this should just be a bolt that's going across here, but it's not. There's no way to, it's wider on one side than the other, and if you try and sand that to get that level, you're going to lose, at least I'm going to lose, the detail on the outside. This is going to get cut off. So I'm leaving it the way it is. I think I got it as close as possible. I tried to form it with a little bit of putty, but it's just not going to work out so well. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave it. But I got 4.5 hours in cleaning up this rail, so that's okay. I'm just concerned about being able to finish on time at this pace. So there's a little sink mark in here that I had to fill. So my goal is hopefully to have a rolling chassis that's painted, primed and painted, with the engine dropped in by the end of 4th of July. I think if I can hit that goal, then I'll be able to get the the cab and all that together, and the interior in time for the deadline. So I'm hopeful. So that's where I'm at. Like I said, I probably got another 4 hours to get into this guy. Hopefully the cross braces go well, and then I'll be able to put this in, square it up, and get that part done. But I still have, the rear end housings have to get glued together and cleaned up. So I still have all the rest of the drive line to do. So and there's a bunch of stuff that still has to get de-chromed. But that's where I'm at. So just wanted to give everybody an update. Thanks. Bye.